Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Aurion, Legacy of the Kori-Odan. I can actually remember the name today because I'm back to the beginning of the menu. It is also worth pointing out, since I was reminded rebooting this game, that this game is built on the XNA framework. And that is a development platform that's not used anymore. It was made for making Xbox 360 games, and it's just kind of defunct now. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's just it's not going to be supported for the longest amount of time. And there's a little bit of crashiness here. I did manage to get the game to crash when I went from windowed mode, but try it and then Alt-tab to a different window and then tried to go back. The more important thing here, though, is we've been playing effectively for an hour and 30 minutes. Steam has a 2-hour refund system. I really couldn't blame anybody for what we've seen in an hour and 30 minutes, which has been mostly just conversation with people and very few fights. And then a lot of cutscenes doing the cool parts of the fights without us. I could see why a lot of people would just say they can't play this game, that they're bored with it. It takes too long to get into action. Unlike your traditional Japanese games, Japanese RPGs, which almost always start you with at least a giant fight and then flash back to the character's childhood or something, and then you have to do a bunch of tutorial things. They almost always, I would say, put a decent amount of action in the game at the beginning. This just doesn't have a good storytelling feel to it. Let's talk to these people. To remind ourselves, we apparently were defeated and kicked out of our castle in a coup. And now we're going to have to go through the long journey to recover our city of Zama. Why are you looking at me? Excuse me. Okay, now we're not even going to get real responses. And here's just like a waitress lady in this sort of... if you want to buy food or anything else to heal you, check out the market outside. Okay. Thank you. Waitresses can't even serve, can't even take orders of food. Interesting. I can't go this way. Good to know. Yeah, it's kind of like a fishing village. And I can't go this way, but there is something I can pick up right here. Turns out I looked at the achievements, and there's a lot of them for this game. I must speak to Nema. We can't talk to these two that are eating. We're like in a restaurant that apparently Nema has rented out this place above the restaurant. So this is gonna actually be a little quicker. Good. It's not an entire city. Nema, you finally regained consciousness. Where are we? What happened? You could do with working on your powers of recognizing the obvious, kid. Wow, I'm having trouble reading long words. I'm not in the mood for your caustic remarks. Drew, tell me what's going on. Man, this dialogue does suffer from being translated to French, and I am 100% certain, because it even when you load the game puts the title screen in French before it translates it to English. Tell me what's going on. You've been exiled from Zama. That's impossible. I defeated Nagarba. You just wounded Nagarba. You didn't defeat him. Did you forget that we had a whole army with him when you fell unconscious? Where are the people, Zama? Apparently, Nagarba wanted to keep the Sumerians alive at all cost. No civilians were from Zama were harmed during the attack. Really? What about the guards? I guess the guards don't count as civilians. But I'm pretty sure I saw some people in the background that were on the ground, looked like they'd been killed or harmed. I realized this when I tried to save you and Erine. I threatened to kill all the Zamarians if Nagobara wouldn't let me take you with me. What? Calm down. You need to look at the bigger picture. If Nagarbi and the soldiers were keeping the Zamarians alive to hurt them, then killing them would have been the most compassionate act I could have committed. You're talking about my people, not a bunch of cattle. I think you've been in your safe little bubble in Zama for too long. The people who attacked you belong to a world where death is sometimes better than life. I can't hang about listening to you. I must go back to Zama to save them. You're not strong enough yet, and you know it. Then tell me how I can become stronger instead of looking down your nose at me. You can't retake Zama all by yourself. He's not by himself. Are they just magically manifesting the clothes, or is this just a artistic style? Achievement earned. Exiled from Zama. Why is the achievement popping up? Interesting. I wonder if that recorded or not. Erine, what are you wearing? When I woke up, Junema briefed me about the situation and she told me to wear this. It's apparently a skin-tight black suit in... You'd think that this game was taking place in Africa, but honestly, Zama was this lush green place, and the place we're in now is clearly oceanside, so I guess heat and it's probably not an issue. Suppose there may be an argument that at one time the black part of the suit for both of them was missing, and so she was gonna play the whole game topless, which in many cultures women do go topless a lot more often than in the United States, at least. But they thought against that. This is the Mayuni Yukata, which means the wall of heart in the language of your ancestor. It's what the Queen of Zama wears when she accompanies the king to the field of battle. So apparently our character is so uneducated about his role as king, he doesn't even recognize like traditional garb. Interesting. The battle gear helps reinforce the queen's abilities. So then it's showing specific pieces of clothing, like a bracelet, a kind of chest piece, and either the skirt, the skirt. The cord of pure Aurionic transmits your Auronic energy to the bracelets that enable you to draw upon more spells. The Aurionic on the Pagne skirt increase the queen's health and magical reserves. And the Aurionic from the halter gives her stamina, increases protection. Like, somebody's very proud of this get-up they've designed. It feel incredibly light. Not a huge surprise when you see how tight-fitting that gear is. I can't believe my ancestor was so happy to see his wife parading down the street in that. Well, I guess at least they're mentioning it. The halter has another use too. It enables you to levitate when fighting. That's very interesting, but not much help. I won't be able to protect her in combat, and I don't want her getting hurt. Apparently the first Hecamas of Zama already solved this using this issue. Moyani Ukada has a protective shield which absorbs most damage. The protective shield draws on the stamina of the queen a little bit like when you're pairing with the Aurithi. Man, there's way too much tutorial and way too much setup. And since this is all just a fantasy world, like, I would really appreciate this a lot more if somebody could tell me that this was based on an actual tribal tale or anything realistic from the real world. Otherwise, you're doing something like The Lord of the Rings, where you're just telling me detail after detail after detail. I think The Hobbit's even worse, about a fantasy world that if I'm not really invested in the fantasy world, I don't care about that overly detailed description. And right now, I haven't played enough of the game or had enough experiences in the game to really care about this world. Again, I've never seen a game so poorly orchestrated that it's driving people just to give up and not care. If the shield is broken, Erine is liable to take lots of damage, and there's too much. The suit immediately takes her away from the danger. So it seems like basically she cannot die. How do I move during a fight? I don't know how to dodge like in the zone. You can channel the Aurion and perform an infinite astral projection. An infinite astral projection? The suit allows you to remain in an astral state as long as Enzo is still active. I don't know exactly how this will work, but your gear you both have is linked together. Amuzi, Erina's armor always allows you to anchor astrally. This means you can jump out of the astral flux to help him, then return without being affected. Erine can even resurrect you if you have an item called the Korabi in your inventory. Like, just a ton of setup here that are kind of just basic things that anybody who's played an RPG before would know. Like, this should be skippable dialogue. Like, she's gonna be your healer. She has a shield. Don't worry, she'll be protected. She can resurrect you if you have this stone. That's really all you needed to say, instead of everything that was just said. Again, also a lot of new words for old concepts that like doesn't work. When you're telling a story, you need to have some common ground. This game is doing its very best to erode any common ground with any other RPG games and just the player in general. So the plan is to return to Zama, and when I'm fighting, Erine heals me. Yeah. Like, this one sentence with a couple of other sentences is all that needed to be said. You could have probably done it in 4 sentences. You must find allies and become stronger. How? Remember your fight with Nagarba? How were you able to hurt him? Because I was able to transcend my Aurionic limits. I can do it again. Erine will heal me. It's an interesting ability, but it won't be enough to defeat an army. You must build up your legacy. Are you referring to the Aurionic awakening, the feeling I had when I got my ultimate legacy? Yes, exactly. Tell me what you felt. I was in tune with the Kori-Odan sense of honor. I said to myself that I would give everything for Zama. I heard an inner voice that guided me to use my Aurithi. If you want to find allies, you must grow Aurionically. The Aurionics do this world will only listen to you if you awaken all of your legacy. And I did look on the main menu, by the way. There is no other mode unlocked right now. So there clearly is a New Game Plus mode, and possibly some other modes you unlock. But right now, first playthrough, you have to do this. The Aurion is a type of energy that is linked to our ancestors. We can absorb the knowledge to perform various actions in combat. It's channeled to give you great strength and a variety of techniques. Like, really, this game needs like a dictionary, and then you have conversation that references words, and then let the player check the dictionary if they care. Instead of having many sentences explain things to the main character that he should totally know. Everyone has something like a hero, a king, a thief, or maybe even a coward in their blood. What we build up and focus depends on our affinity with a virtue or vice. This allows us to link to an ancestors who is also in sync. So there's like a long line of cowards that are in sync with each other somewhere. That'll be funny. For example, your inborn Aurion is focused on honor. Nagara's was focused on revolution. Potential allies will only respect you if you unlock the rest. Again, maybe honor and revolution are both Kwanzaa terms. I guess I would need to look that up. The rest. For an Aurionic, strength is a consequence, not a cause. Your Aurion only revealed itself to you if you come to know yourself better. Only then will you awaken the 4 pillars of self-awareness. It sounds like she's giving me more work. It's an interesting concept to start a journey where you're really just trying to find out about yourself, but how it plays out in a video game, I have no idea. You must find and understand the 4 aspects of your soul. Aurion is derived from ancestral term Aurion, which means collected energy. Then you will have access to a powerful legacy and influence your influence will increase over potential allies. This almost sounds like you're gonna gain influence and get armies to fight for you. Each of the pillars is associated with an element, but the elements depend on the nature of the Aurionic himself, which that sounds like you just said nothing. Each of the pillars is associated with an element, but which element it is depends on the person. So sometimes fire might be for cowardness, and sometimes fire might be for honor. Is that what they're saying? An Aurionic pilgrimage. My father left Zama to go on one. It was during the journey that he met you. We must go to find Enzo's pillars. Alright, let's just move on. This is a very difficult question, Erine. No one knows exactly how to awaken their own pillars. It's a quest for your inner self, which depends on the experience you've gone through, but above all, on how you view these experiences. All I can say is that your lineage is strongly linked to Zama, so a good place to start your own personal quest to your inner self might be to try and understand the reason for Zama's existence. The reason Zama exists? There's a famous text with the hecamas in the village Griot used to like quoting to us. Zama is the city of those without walls. The phrase originated from the founders of Zama. What did our ancestors mean by this? Freedom, peace? We already thought about it, but we never found a definite answer. The answer could win you back the throne. But you'll have to travel a long way. Travel and discover who you are to this world, and then perhaps you'll gain what you've lost. Wow. So basically the game is just telling you, just wander around. You'll find the solution eventually, which makes me feel like they're intentionally trying to stretch the length of this game to one of those Final Fantasy epic lengths. And it would be ironic here if at the end of the game we actually just awaken Erine's 4 elements and pillars and the main character doesn't learn anything about himself. Enzo says, "Aren't you coming with us?" "No, I'm still on my own quest for my last pillar. I thought the answer was in Zama, that's why I trained you. But after all these years, I still haven't found what I'm looking for. That's why I must continue on my way. But I'll also give you one final gift. I'll give you the last lesson you've got left in our combat style. The Caro... Oh god, it's way too much. Mispronouncing all of it, I'm sure. Which means vengeful spider. Let's go outside. Another 20 minutes of dialogue. Like, I totally could see why people would refund this. We've gone about 2 hours now, and we've barely had 5 fights. I'll let you use the items from my store for this training session, so let yourself go and don't worry about using items. You should take this now. So she gives me bread. There is an achievement for eating every kind of food. Good, let's start testing how much in sync you're with Erine. You can summon her for both ground and air combat. She'll respond with the button and combo the same way your techniques work. Okay. Make sure that she has enough action points before summoning her. Try to summon her on the ground and then use the air. Use her healing technique. Alright. So she's left trigger and then I'm confused because down at the bottom the S anger attack was back forward Y. Her here, is it the left stick with like like what did I just do? Oh, it's up on the pad because the images are frankly the items on this are overlapping kind of poorly. So left stick up and then left trigger. Left stick up and then trigger. You don't even really have to do too poorly on it. And so now if I'm in the air, like why I would want to heal in the air, I have no idea, but okay. Cough cough, woo, that it was tiring. You aren't used to it. Rest and get your breath back. Her stamina should have gone down if she's gonna say it's tiring. And that kind of breaks the whole idea of stamina. Not bad, Erine. Should be able to heal you during combat when you're short of healing items, which I doubt I will be very often. But it does feel like this, if we get into enough fights, we will eventually start running out of health items I can eat. They're here. Let's see. That was weird. He was just calmly walking towards us. I figured he might talk to us. His Aurion is strange. Is he paralyzed? Say hello to our prisoner. I dissected his Aurionic channels and his body no longer obeys him. Interesting, and that sounds morally ambivalent. That sounds not good at all. During the next training stage, you can let off some steam on him. He feels pain, but he can't die. That sounds really evil. Now, spiders change their progeny to kill by paralyzing their victims. Draw inspiration from nature to understand how to fight, and you can, well, master this technique. So I guess I can see why Nema Yod is not finished with her quest. She's a little evil. I won't hold myself back. Really? I kind of would. You don't scare me. I was trained by the Rhino, and I'm not afraid of torture. This is the last lesson about the Karagande fighting style, so ask me anything you want one last time. The theory of the art combat. And so now we've got different things. Let's see, watch combo videos. Like, how much of this do I really need to know? Because at the end of the day, I really think like I'm just going to mash buttons. Press and hold L3 to see the last combo video. Apparently the fighting system combos into itself. But honestly, if I'm gonna get anywhere in this game, press back to speak to Noemi. Let's see. Yeah, so now it's just become a button masher brawler game. Like, and we can watch these little videos all we want. Oops. And I'm trying to hit pause. I'm trying to hit stop to come out of this, but stop's not working. X works. And it probably looks a little bit smoother. Like, we can go full screen. And full screen really is the only useful one. And you don't get to push any buttons here. Take a moment to look at the screen at the bottom and in the top left. It looks different than what the game looks like now. So I imagine these videos were created on an earlier version of the game. Let's see. And you're not pushing the buttons or anything right now. I guess you have to hold down B. And how many of these are there? There's a lot of them. A lot of them in which I'll just never use. And then over here is the keyboard layout and sort of the Xbox 360 layout. Clearly they're missing something in their choices of buttons, because a lot of these tutorial tips are saying things like L3, and there is no L3 unless you want to call L3 clicking down the left stick, which, okay, maybe that's what they mean, but no video game player uses that description. So if we sort of pretended to look at each of these videos. Let's see if we can get an achievement maybe from looking at all these. Like, and then this just resets them to the same place. And then I show this as Lance chance to train freely and learn the basics. Yes, let's finish the training. Alright, let's return to Figil then. Like, honestly, I'm not very happy with the idea of torturing a guy and controlling his body. And secondly, I don't really think I'm ever going to learn all of those combos. I'm just going to button mash and accidentally cause all of those combos to happen. Now that you're outside Zama, you must learn how to heal yourselves on your own. You'll need a Calaco to manage your inventory. It'll be able to materialize stored and collected items for you. And that's Kalu, not Calaco. Access the Kalu by using the back button or escape to access information about your current status and equipment. Some Kalus are for teleportation. The one I've given you has a GPS function. Oh, you're going to actually use the phrase GPS instead of some other made-up phrase. That's interesting. From now on, you have access to the menu back. Escape. Here's the money I was able to scrounge from the palace. Most of it paid for the journey here. Received 1,500 yadas. Go to the shop, and when you're ready, come back for our final lesson. The Kalu will show you what a merchant in this area are by displaying an icon over them. Awesome. Shopping is always good for the morale. Let's go, says Erine. And honestly, when there are conversations in game, I would much prefer to have the ability to zoom in on the characters and see the faces of the characters and see who's talking, instead of it just bringing a cutout of the face closer to the screen and then giving lines of dialogue in the same place over and over again. So we get another achievement. I don't know why the achievements are popping up though. That is weird. And we can now, let's see, look at a lot of stats, and we can switch between Erine and Enzo. We can look at our inventory, our food. We have no treasures and we have no story related items. There's a lot of stuff being promised here, but a lot of stuff also I kind of don't believe. There's several items that we have. So we have a Heart of Zama, Zama Bracelet, and Queen of Zama. And then nothing can be switched right now because we don't have anything different. And that makes sense. Aurions, like we have honor in the middle, and then it's gonna work its way around, I suppose. Progress. We've seen this. And apparently I could spend some action points and purchase things at certain levels. But the game really hasn't done anything to tell me about any of that yet. So I imagine the tutorial will take this. Stream. What did that say? Steam. These are all the achievements. Yeah, that says Steam. And And then DLC, apparently there is no DLC right now. Video gallery. Honestly, it might be the best way to play this game. Is to get a save file that's 100% done and just watch all the videos. And if you need any info that you missed, it's all here. Story and tribes, the main tribes, like nomad tribes. See, and some of this information is being referenced, but we haven't gotten any info on it yet. And it almost seems certain that there will be yet another option here. And the world map. We are in Kawa, I would assume, Kawawasho. No, we're in Kawa Isayo. I'm mispronouncing all of this. We're here, which is a big area. And this Ka-Odene, I imagine, might be where we started. So this is the world, apparently. Let's see, can we zoom out with the... We can zoom in, but we can't zoom out. Interesting. So... totally different world, alright. We have 2018 yadas. And let's see. Did I have something that we could do? No, so I'm gonna have to find out. Let's go ahead and save again. 30 minutes, we really haven't done anything. How many save slots do we have? Seems like enough. So we'll just pick one and move forward. Yeah, I'm gonna have to see if maybe I can turn off the achievements, or if they're recording, and then I'll just stop. Or if they're not recording, I'll stop mentioning them, so you may not have seen any of those. Oh yeah, like, honestly, I would probably quit this game right now if I was just playing it. I don't think it's moving anywhere fast enough. That's a big problem with a lot of RPG style games. They're too slow. And some of the Final Fantasy remakes, when they come out, speed that up and make it a much more playable and enjoyable game. If this was a game that came out in the 90s or the 80s, it would be perfectly fine. It would be like, this is great content, great dialogue. But in 2017, 2016, when this game came out, like, there's just too much competition, too many other things to do with your life, that doing all the setup that was really unnecessary, and not voice acting it and not making it easy makes this game very inaccessible to many video game players, which kind of sucks, because I think it is going to be a cool story when all is said and done. It's just, it's a real struggle. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.